What's up, guys? Today we are going to talk about labels of food. Are labels misleading? Well, I don't think they intentionally trying to mislead, but they try to market what they want to sell to you. But the big problem is most of the people do not know how to read the entire label, all the ingredients, to really see, is this particular product really good for me or not good for me? So whether you have any underlying health conditions or you just trying to diet and have a high protein diet, or whatever you're trying to do, you can't just read the first sentence the way they market. So we're going to dig into that today in this health log and try to explain to you how you should be viewing these labels. Okay, so I have a few things. Obviously there's so much more. We could get into frozen food and things like that too, but I'm going to start with just one thing, is salmon. Okay, because everybody thinks, oh, salmon, I gotta eat salmon, salmon is great for me. Yes, salmon is good for you, and I would say it's great for you once a week. It has great omega-3, it has a good content of fat, but you gotta look at more than that. So yes, it has not a lot of cholesterol, which is good. It's about 12 grams of protein, and of course you also have to look at the serving size, right? It depends on how much you eat. But the biggest problem is with most of the food, and especially with frozen food, is sodium, right? There's usually, if it's frozen, the sodium content is going to be higher than fresh, okay? And this particular salmon I actually do not like because it's super salty. So that's one of the reasons I picked it. So this salmon, again, no carbohydrate, which is great, very low cholesterol, but it has 600 milligrams of sodium. And that's for about two slices. So if you eat this whole serving, that's like 3,600, milligrams of sodium. That's a lot, right? And I mean, one person could eat easily at least half of this salmon. So just keep an eye on, while salmon is good for us and the trend of fish out there, eating it every day is not good for you because it's going to get your sodium level high. And if you are trying to slim down, if you eat too much sodium, you're going to retain the water. Now you're not going to get a physique that you would like. Okay, so now let's look into different bars and snacks and protein bars, okay? So I got these. Okay, the big famous one, I just tried to pick different things to talk about. I don't need any of these for the record, but I just feel like these are more popular. So RX bar, right? This is the big thing. Everybody's having the RX bar. Now, one of the good things about the RX bar, it is all made with natural ingredients. So there's nothing in there. There's no extra sugar. There's no extra filler. It's basically eggs. This one has almonds, cashews, and has the egg white. So it is not bad for you, but if you are, again, on a weight loss journey or on a bodybuilding journey, you're gonna have to watch the carbohydrates, because you get 12 grams of protein, which is okay. It's not a lot, but it's good. But what you trade in for is 25 grams of carbohydrates. So you're just gonna have to watch that. But again, I like the fact that it's made with all natural ingredients. So is it horrible for you? No. Is it super amazing? No. So we're gonna keep this in the medium level. So let's talk about misleading. Clean kit. So when you see that writing, clean, right away, like that's how they're trying to sell you. It's attractive, it's a catchy title. So right away you think, oh, okay, this is great for my kid, right? Not too many people go in the back and it says, oh, it's breakfast, energy, snacking, school. It's great because it's, school friendly and there's no nuts in them. But then what about the rest of the ingredients, okay? So sodium, 50 milligrams, protein, 6 grams, carbohydrates, here we go again, 18 grams. Now, for a child to have a carbohydrate, 18 grams, it's not bad. My big problem with this is all the oil, and not just anything, but it's a fractionated palm oil that they put in. I try to stay away from any tree type of oils, but again, this versus the RX bar, Now you have some ingredients in there that maybe is not great for us. Again, is this horrible for you? No. Is this better than, you know, some of those junky candy bars or whatever, cookies that some of, you know, those lunch packets, Lunchables have? Of course it's better. But when you say clean kids, is this something, and these are expensive, by the way. So is it worth it to spend all that much money? I don't know. I almost rather like, okay, just buy the RX bar. It's going to be financially better, and in a way it is better for you. So again, misleading label, it's not misleading, but that catchy title right away gonna say to people, oh, this is great for my kid, let me get this and let me buy this. So important, read all the ingredients. Okay, so now let's look at this one, okay? It says IQ bar for smart math. What does that tell you? It's, again, tell you that if you are smart and you want to be healthy, this is really good for you. So let's see if it's really true. Well, fat content is a little bit higher than the rest of the bars. Okay, it's about 16 grams. Carbohydrate is lower, but then here comes sodium. 145 milligrams of sodium for one little bar. And the way you look at it, this is just a tiny snack, right? Like, this is not going to fill you up. You're not even a kid, it's gonna fill them up. So to me, that is way too much sodium. And the protein they get is about 10 grams. I mean, you know, it has some potassium in it, which is great. So I would put these two together. Is it horrible? No, it's definitely better than cookies and, you know, gummy packets and any other kinds of snacks like that that I see in kids' lunch boxes. But again, I would say out of all this, RX bar still win-win. Not only cheaper, but it's all natural ingredients and it doesn't have all the high levels as these two. But again, if you went to the store and you saw RX bar, clean kids, or IQ bar for smart math, which will get up your attention and make you buy one? Probably one of these, right? Again, it's that title, it's that labeling. Okay, so let's have popcorn, right? I have people who are on my nutrition plan and they're like, well, I'm just starving, because normally when you cut down on the carbohydrate the first week or so, it's tough. You don't eat all those fillers, so you feel hungry, even though you eat a lot of protein and a lot of fiber and all the good, clean stuff. Your belly needs to get used to eating less. So people right away, well, can I get a little popcorn? That's like the ultimate snack, the popcorn. So let's look at some popcorn, okay? Obviously, Jiffy Pop, all-time favorite, but I just want to point it out. I still see people at parties doing them, okay? 19 grams of carbohydrates with 3 grams of fiber, so that gives you about 17 and a half, 18 carbs, which is not horrible. Again, that's for 1/3 of this popcorn. But then you have to look at the rest. People look at cholesterol, right? We look at carbs, cholesterol. Those are good, then you're like, okay, this is good for us. Well, you have to dig a little deeper. Sodium, obviously there's not really protein in it, so it's nothing. 220 milligrams of, you know, sodium. And I've seen friends having popcorn, and when they open a bag or, you know, make something like that, they watching TV and it's just, they eat the whole thing one after another. So if you did end up eating all this, which is not that much, to be honest, once you pop them, you're looking at 660 milligrams of popcorn. Sodium just for popcorn, just for snacks. That's a lot of sodium just for snack. That should be like your daily intake of sodium, not even. Okay, so, but there's healthier options, okay? So this one, if you look at the label, popcorn Himalaya pink salt. I can guarantee you most gentlemen will put this down because it's pink. This is one of those things where it says lesser evil, right? But I still don't think they labeling it like these guys, it's clean or smart math. A lot of people just it's just not really catchy, but it's really good. So anybody who's a diabetic, for example, this is a great snack because it has only, first of all, 0 cholesterol, only 90 milligrams of sodium, there's 7 carbs. obviously no really protein, but you know, I also like snacks when it's packaged like this versus in the big one, because then you know exactly. So if you are tracking your macros, you know exactly, okay, I ate this popcorn, this is how much carbs I took in, this is how much sodium, this is what exactly I took in. But again, if you went to the store, I can guarantee you between the two, and I don't have any other popcorn, but even like Pirate Booty and things like that, this would be the less likely for people to pick up. These guys, I feel like they kind of made it a little bit feminine. I don't know why, it's because it's Himalayan pink salt. I don't know if, you know, your male athletes would gravitate towards this. So if I were them, I would kind of probably make it a little bit more appealing to all people, kids, adult, male, female. But I like this kind of popcorn. All right, let's go to these. So this is the protein part. Okay, so here are the protein people. Whether you're low carb or you just want to bump your protein and you want to eat high protein snacks because you want to buff up. So yes, it has low carbs and it has about 21 grams of protein, which is good. The entire patch is 42 grams of protein. So this is really good, except the sodium, 400 milligram for half a bag. So if you did end up eating the whole thing, yes, you might get 42 grams of protein, but you are taking 800 milligrams of sodium. So again, you know, you want to eat all that protein, get some meat, get some good protein shake and drink it. I would do that instead of this, because the sodium is just way too high, and now you're going to have all that water intake to compensate for this. I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. Same thing. But again, this is why people buy it, whether you're on a diet or you want to buff up. It has the label, protein puff, protein pancakes. So let's look at these protein pancakes, right? People like pancakes. They want to make pancakes for the kids. So this is like, oh, this is protein pancake. This is good for me, right? Well, is it good for you? It has 30 grams of carbohydrates, which is the same exact thing as any other regular pancakes have. And yes, it has higher protein, but it only has 13 grams of protein, right? So same as the bars, it's really not like, woohoo, I'm taking in all this extra protein. And then here comes the sodium again, 340 milligrams of sodium. And again, it's not counting if you put eggs or milk with it, it's just only if you do the powder and the water. Obviously with milk and egg, you can bump the protein up. But again, I don't know, I think it's too much. If you are in a protein focus, right, you can have the carbs high too. So even though this says, okay, this pancake has good protein, it's way too high in carbohydrate and way too high in sodium. So it's a nah for me. Okay, how about Magic Spoon? I know a lot of parents who like kids cereal, but we gotta have to find a healthy cereal. Here's the way I look at it, and call me crazy, just don't get cereal. Like, cereal is junk. Like, it's filler with milk and a bunch of sugar, but I know the parents want to do the cereal, so they're like, well, I'm going to get healthy cereal. So let's look at this outrageously expensive, about $8 a box, Magic Spoon cereal. So the good news is it's probably the lowest carbohydrate cereal you can get, so I think that's why people like it. 210 grams of sodium, and 13 grams of protein. So, you know, I guess the one thing I could say is it's versus Frosty Flakes and stuff that's full of sugar, that this doesn't have all the extra sugar. So is it amazing for my kid? No, but it's a lot better than eating, you know, all the other, you know, the Fruit Loops and all the other kind of cereal. But again, is it worth the $8? But the way they marketing it, it's grain-free, you know, it's like high protein, keto-friendly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, and they have the whole list. They did a great job doing the labeling. So of course you are going to buy it because it's really good for you, right? But when you look at the label, it's kind of misleading. Again, I'm not saying it's horrible for you, but $8 that you pay for this and all this listing that they list, is it that great? No, it's not. Now let's look at real food. Don't look at the pineapple. Of course, pineapple is great for you. I just wanted to do a couple of frozen food, and I have to borrow some of these things from people that they have. These little meatballs, or this is the new one, these breakfast flights that's supposed to be super good because it's no hormones and chicken raised. Again, I'm looking at the labeling from a different marketing perspective. This is meat, so the way they're gonna sell it to you is that it's no hormones, GMO, it's all vegetarian, fat, all good. So let's look at it. So it says for 6 pieces of these little breakfast meatballs, you have 1 grams of carbs, so that's great. So again, if you want a low carb diet, this is good for you. No sugar, 14 grams of protein, so you get some protein in. But again, let's look at the sodium. 670 milligrams of sodium. That's a lot of sodium for 6 little balls. You kill your sodium intake for the day. And then 75 milligrams of cholesterol. So again, people look at it, and this probably was at a health food store. This is not something that you buy at Aldi or a regular general grocery store. The way they labeling it, right? It looks appealing. It's, you know, they make it that you want to grab it off the shelf. And again, I'm not saying any of these, you know, gonna kill you. I just feel like how they market it and the amount of money that you pay for this, people really need to be smart about and look at the whole nutrition fact and say, is that really worth it? You know, and there are some stuff out there that's completely clean and it's all put together with low carbs, high protein, no extra food, and they, you know, I pay for those a lot of money, and that's great. But most of the stuff, it's all about the marketing, and you have to read the label as a whole. Now these are your regular general grocery store meatballs. All right, there's no extra fancy marketing except when you look at it really quickly. It's 5 grams of carbohydrate, 13 protein. Okay, now here's why I brought this out, okay? Here's the healthy one that probably costs double of this, and this is the cheaper regular grocery store. Now, if you compare the two, right, you can see that the cholesterol in the cheap one is actually lower. The sodium of the cheaper one is actually lower, and the carbohydrate is a little bit higher, but it's not much. This one had 1, this one had 5, right? But what you give in is the sodium for this one was 670, this one was 570, okay? Look at cholesterol, 75, 45. So again, this is a little bit of misleading marketing, like how great it is for you. Because if you look at the complete packaging, it's cheaper, and you know, overall it's actually better for you, okay? So I just wanted to talk about this because I see so many people, like I even caught clients who, you know, another big kick is the green drinks, right? So there's a lot of green powders, it's great for us. And you know, I asked a client the other day, I was like, well, what do you do for breakfast? Like, oh, I have my protein shake, and you know, that I take my protein, as we were counting her macros, and I was like, well, can I see your shake? And it's one of those green, you know, health food store type, probably costs like $25, $30 for the big container, has 2 grams of protein in it. So I told her, I was like, well, it might be green and it might help you get a little fiber in, but it only has 2 grams of protein. So if you are using that as your big protein intake for the morning, this is misleading because there barely is any protein. But again, she did not read the whole label. She saw the advertising, it's green, the powder is green, it's advertised as great fiber, and it's a good shake for you in the morning. So she bought it and she's been drinking it for months. So that's what made me do this video, that we really need to analyze and dissect all the aspects of the labels, every little thing, where is it? Before we make the educated choice of, is this particular item good for me, for my goal, yeah, right? Like some people have lower cholesterol, then definitely lower the cholesterol. Same thing with any heart issues or just even general health. Watch the sodium. We don't want to eat a lot of high sodium stuff, which most stuff has, right? So read the label and then make the decision, is it good for you and is it worth the money? Because when you see these smart marketing, these labeling, those are the one that's going to put the price up higher. All right, so I hope it was a little helpful. I know it sometimes can be a pain in the neck to, You know, I'm one of those taking forever in the grocery store because I'm reading the labels, especially if it's something new. But the way I look at it is once you find things that are good for you, then it becomes automatic because you just keep buying the same thing. Costco is actually getting really good at like to buy a lot of stuff that's, again for diabetics, like low carb, and I feel like they start coming up with a lot of variety. So I hope it helped. Any question, put it on there, so I'd be happy to answer it. Make sure to subscribe.